Okay, so I would like to share some very good news that I just received from a client. One of my candidates was offered a position and she took it. So Eileen here, she is the executive director of Soundview Medical Associates. I placed with them probably 6 or 7 candidates. She likes to drive a hard bargain. She always wants something for free, and that's not going to happen this time. She's going to have to pay the piper. So it's great because we know that the candidate took the offer, that she starts on Monday. So now it's time to start keeping track of all the placements that are going to happen for next year. So there's a couple things that I do in order to keep track. I use this particular spreadsheet, and it's basically the same that I've used for past years. The one that I'm using right now, this version, is one that worked really well for me back in 2014. I used a different one back in 2013, but I find that this one is working pretty well. So what it does is it lets you know who the client is, the candidate that took the position, the start date that the candidate is starting, and when we get paid. So as you'll see, the start date is actually this Monday, which is very, very quick. That's what happens in a private practice. You can find out on a Thursday that a candidate is starting on Monday. That doesn't happen with a hospital because when a candidate is offered a position with a hospital, there's a credentialing process that takes place. The credentialing process, it's very long and lengthy, but basically it's about a 2.5, even maybe a 3-month process. So let's say that this was a hospital, which it's not, it's a private practice, but let's say it's a hospital. And Nicole is offered a position and, today, she accepts today, great. Well, Nicole is not going to be starting this position until 3 months from now, which means we're not getting paid until 4 months from now, which is why I really want everybody going after private practices. Hospitals are great. They feed you jobs. They'll call you up and say, hey, John, we need 3 positions filled for a hospitalist position, which is exactly something I have right now. The only problem is you can't rely on that, and it makes for sort of an erratic payment schedule. The best way to get paid every month and to have jobs fill every month is to work with these private practices for exactly this type of reason. Candidate starts on Monday after being offered the position on Thursday. You get paid 30 days after that, and that's exactly what we have here. There are 31 days in December. We get paid on the 7th for $6,000. And that's how I keep track of that part. And then I use a calendar. I'm going to bring that over here. And I've already done this work. I've already set up this as diagnostics. So I know that's one of the colors that I use for diagnostics. And basically, this is how I remember that I get paid. And I have to, of course, send an invoice. But I know that I'm getting paid on this date, which is 30 days after. And that's pretty much it. This is how I keep track of payments that come in. And hopefully we're going to see this thing fill up. I know we will see it fill up really nicely. It'd be nice to have, 2 to 3 jobs fill every month. And that's, if you have a lot of activity, that's what's going to drive that. Certainly if you have 1 job that fills every month, that's fantastic. But, if you get 2, you're approaching a $100,000 type of income. So I hope this helps you keep track of the jobs that you fill.